Hi. Hello, everybody. Good morning, or good evening, or whatever. So let's start Dharma talk for today. 大丈夫ですか？はい。At first, let's start with about something severe. What I want to say is, if you are looking for the real way, real path, then there's one condition to encounter with the real way. One condition, that you have to be real. Real means don't do as a hobby. Real means do for your life, and even not even life, even more. Even after death, if this way is what you want to do, then it's a real. If it's and if it's easy. So important is, if the way of the way of Tao Sangha, actually Tao Sangha is the way of living and the path. If the way of Tao Sangha does fit to your way of living or not. If that fits, then it's your way of living anyway, so you do it anyway. But if it doesn't fit to the way of living, it's going to be temporary relationship. It depends on what you can get. As long as you can get, maybe you stay. And if the capacity of your ego is more, the challenging is more than your over limit your ego, then you not continue. But actually, there's no practice. If there is no meaning in a practice without holding ego. But there's one problem exists about this holding ego. There are so many lies in a society that we have been taught the meaning of the words. One of it is hold ego. Usually, when we use the word hold ego, it means not really the meaning of the hold ego. It means usually give up your ego for somebody, ego of the somebody who has more high position than you, right? When you're a childhood, it was a parent or teacher, and when you're working in a company, then it's a boss will be that, so in this society, if you have more in a hierarchy, if you have more higher position, then you start not to having you start not to be hold ego will not be required. That's why more higher position, then the ego become much more higher. But this is really ridiculous. This is really stupid, and that's how it happens in the religion organization in the spiritual world as well. So if they have high position, they can do anything, whoever, the guru or whatever, whoever. High position people don't have to hold ego. This is stop it. Hold ego, it doesn't mean following ego of somebody else, whoever. Hold ego means hold ego toward. I don't know if the word toward is okay. Toward the Buddha or God, Buddha or God or whatever, or Dharma. Hold ego toward Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Not to the people, not to the people. To the principle and to the great spirit. Okay, that means a hold ego. And often people make mistake. And especially in traditional religion, they misinterpret about the position. Nothing to do. The position has nothing to do with spiritually high or low. And that's the meaning of what Jesus said. As he said, in heaven, a lower person become higher, and higher person become lower. It means that who is in a high position and letting other people follow that their ego, of course it means that spiritually it means low in that the spiritual world. That's what he meant. What he meant. But anyway, so you have to be real. You have to hold ego. You have to be real. And there's a lot of traps in a society. For example, okay, people think that not the responsible is that more you gain, you have more freedom. But actually, this is also a misunderstanding. Anyway, this based on this, what I said, that you have to be real, okay, to encounter the real way, real path. If real path that you be awakened to the enlightened, and you be able to transference the merit of Buddha. The purpose has to be the transference. And but today, let's talk about very basic thing about Buddhism, and how that connected to that you be real. For example, Buddha Dharma Sangha. This Buddha Dharma Sangha that we chant in our practice, Buddhaṃ Dharmaṃ Sanghamī Dhammaṃ Saranam Gacchāmi, Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi. This means I take refuge into Buddha, I take refuge into Dharma, I take refuge into Sangha. Okay? And this has been chanted since 2,500 years ago. So all Buddhist people, they chant this Buddha and Sangha, these three. So there's okay. And in a Theravada Buddhism, Buddha only meant that as a master, teacher, Shakyamuni. And Dharma is the teaching of the Shakyamuni, and Sangha is practitioners who are in the practice community of the Shakyamuni. This was original. And Theravada is basically totally, completely try to follow the tradition. So they still interpreted Buddha, Dharma, Sangha as Shakyamuni's teaching, and the community of the practitioner. But when Mahayana Buddhism started, this meaning additionally changed. Not only the Shakyamuni, not only the teachings, not only the community, but Buddha is the universe itself. So whole universe, because the universe is not material, universe is a spirit, and what we take refuge into is that universal spirit of Buddha. Buddha means that it's a symbolic expression. And the Dharma is not only the teachings, but it's the principle of the universe. Basic principle of the universe is cause and effect, right? This is not physics. This is not physics, okay? This means that if you give, for example, okay, if you give, you become more happier. So it's totally against mathematics, right? But universe is action and reaction. It's like a mirror. What you give is what you get. This is like one of the basic Dharma. It's the principle of the universe. Well, actually, this might help a little bit. If you have this knowledge, it might help a little bit. But if you do really follow it and prove yourself is totally big challenge for ego, because ego has a fear. That's why how the ego overcome the fear, overcome the ego is important in the practice, but also living, also to create happy life. That's why to create happy life you need to practice. Okay, you need to practice. That's why we chant and we put prayers for all beings, basically. And great spirit of the universe, Buddha, and Sangha is all beings of the universe. Because Mahayana Buddhism recognizes the Buddha nature exists in all beings, so all beings has potential to become Buddha. And when they awaken, they all become Buddha. This is a basic idea. This is a basic thought of the Mahayana Buddhism. But Theravada Buddhism doesn't think this way. Theravada Buddhism thinks who got enlightened is only Shakyamuni Buddha. And other people who become monk be able to reach to the state of Arahant. But it's not a Buddha state. and only and if you don't become priest, you don't be arahant. But what you can be is you just donate for the sangha, and then they reach to they reverse to the heavenly state in the next life. This is Theravada Buddhism. But Mahayana Buddhism is not, right? All beings has Buddha nature. It doesn't matter you're priest or not priest. It's only the cloth. It's only the surface. Just awaken deep inside of ourselves, and Buddha will be awakened from your internally, because great spirit is internally and externally and all universe. This is basically so different in Theravada and Mahayana. So different. But by interpreting this way, we have a common, right? Mahayana includes Theravada. And what Shakyamuni has taught in the beginning, at first, okay? This is basic thing, okay? Is this three. One is called sign of Dharma. Sign of Dharma means that if Shakyamuni had to make clear a difference between the Hindu or Brahman teachings and Buddhist teachings, and he put the three signs of the Dharma. What? One is nothing is permanent. So how we can understand this meaning as Tao Sangha? How we can interpret it? Nothing is permanent. Usually, people interpret that nothing is permanent. Of course, physically, like atom is not just our basic existence element of the existence. Actually, the quantum is an element of our existence, and that quantum is just living and dying. I mean, rising up, existence disappearing every moment, so fast. Many different kind of the quantum exist that they discover these days, and one of the quantum called tau, I don't know how to spell it, is like a 0.000000 second only exists, but reverse. And that's how that's how all the material that we say material exists, but every moment is disappearing and appearing. That's nothing is permanent. But it's not only that. Don't stop until this level. Nothing permanent means, why nothing permanent? Why? Because every moment, universe is increasing the spirit, development of the spirit. Every moment. It's in human world, it's opposite. Human world, every moment is going down, 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 down. Every moment is on the way to corrupt. Of course, in the other hand, but our life is every moment just walking toward the cliff of the death, right? But Pure Land is opposite world. Every moment to moment, your comfort is increasing. And moment to moment, happiness is increasing. Moment to moment, joy is increasing. That's the world of the Pure Land. So, as a human being, it's so difficult to imagine this every moment development world. But actually, that is a true world. Okay? This is you have to put your more imagination and to imagine more opposite world exists, the Pure Land exists. Nothing is permanent, and nothing exists individually. Nothing exists individually. This is the second thing. This means that each atom of ourselves includes whole body. Each cell includes whole body. Each atom, but actually, each atom includes the whole universe, and whole universe will be concentrated to each atom, and each atom, each existence, each one of this tiny dust includes whole existence of each other. This means that nothing exists individually. And the third is, this is the interesting part. This is the third one. Everything is suffering. But this is actually what the Buddha taught at first, 2,500 years ago. Isn't it interesting? Buddha had to make clear difference from the other teaching, and have to make show the clear difference from the traditional teachings. And this nothing permanent. Can you imagine? This is what opposite of the teaching before. What is interesting is about the Hinduism. Hinduism talk about samsara. I mean, Mahayana Buddhism talks about samsara now too, but it means that the spirit is your internal spirit is Atman, your external great self is a Brahman, right? And this Atman, which means it's your spirit, just continues next life, next life, and this is what basically the Hinduism of Brahman teachings was. And Shakyamuni denied this teaching, said nothing is permanent because nothing exists individually. Okay, and there were also teachings in some other teachings in India at that time that to just look for comfort. And then he said everything is suffering. But you have to understand what real meaning of this, how you can interpret it, the real meaning. If, let's say, if maybe it might be difficult to imagine, but if the Pure Land is the true reality, so comfortable, and it's increased, so happy, so joy, and every moment increasing, moment to moment increasing. If you are living in this such a world, if you were, okay, and let's say you're born as a human being, you don't feel suffer, you feel suffer, right? Because every moment is totally opposite. And so many negativities in this world, right? The comfort of the Pure Land is because it's only the positive heart exists. Each other. Only the great love exists. Only the joy. Only all those comfort and happy and praise and joy every moment, because all each other praise and all every existence be happy about others' happiness. That's how it increases the happiness and joy. Compared to that world, human life is suffering. That's what Jakamuni said. Everything is suffering. And these are a clear difference from the teaching of the past. And this usually, if you study in Buddhism, in some Buddhist school, that you study this first, and as three signs of the Dharma, and also there's one more sign that together with number 3, everything suffering. Okay. This is Nirvana, is peace. Nirvana. Nirvana is not the name of the band, okay? Nirvana is also the big difference in the meaning of the Theravada and the Mahayana. Nirvana means in Theravada, it's come from the blow out fire, like this, like our ceremony of the flame of blow out the fire of the desire come from the Nirvana. So it says that if your desire all disappears, you'll be in Nirvana, and that is in peace, state of peace. So different, right? Because meanings of Nirvana in Mahayana Buddhism is a Pure Land. Pure Land is full of peace, full of freedom, full of comfort, full of joy, full of happiness. And compared to this happiness, compared to this comfort, compared to this, is written in a sutra that heavenly state, heavenly world is 1,000 times more than good life compared to the king, it says. But Pure Land is 1,000 times more than the heavenly state. So compared to this happiness and comfort of the Pure Land, human world comfort is, or happiness is really only the cause of the suffering. Because happiness in the human world is usually based on the suffering, right? For example, if you're so disturbing, it suffers. And if you got food, you eat food, then you feel happy. Yeah. And people are still based on this happiness. They think happiness is happiness. This happiness is happiness. But actually, there's absolute happiness exists. It's not based on the suffer. Right? All the happiness in the human life is based on the suffering, right? Or if you're lonely, you have nobody, but you got a girlfriend or boyfriend. Oh, I'm happy. It's the same. Eh? There is a absolute happiness, absolute peace, absolute freedom, without not based on the opposite, not based on the suffering. And that is in the Pure Land, that is in our deep of ourself that exists, and we have to be awakened to this. Okay, today's Dharma talk is finished. I see you again. Thank you.